Scorpio, and welcome to September. This is Gwendolyn. Welcome back to the channel. Or if it's your first time here, welcome. This is going to be a monthly teroscope for Scorpio for September. And we're out of eclipse season now. How does that feel, Scorpio? Does it feel like some things got released from the depths? And do you feel lighter? Or does it feel like you're going forward again? A little bit. We've got Mercury that just went direct, and at the end of this, Mars goes direct, and some of the planets, we had 5 major planets going retrograde over the summer, and so now stuff is starting to go back direct, and we're entering into back to school season, back to work. Yeah, maybe some changes that you had to go a little bit backwards to go forwards, and that's what, that eclipse season invites us to review old things, gives us new opportunities, gives us time to clear out things that weren't working for us. So let's see what's coming up for the cards for you this month, Scorpio. Let's take a look. We've got Knight of Coins in reverse. Ooh, Ten of Cups, love that. It's actually a Ten of Cups day as I'm recording this. This is joy, peace, harmony, the family. I'll talk more about that when we get to it. 2 of Swords. 8 of Swords in reverse, coming out of some sort of mental stasis or stagnation, mental just being closed off or being stuck. Then we've got Knight of Wands in reverse, King of Swords in the upright, 8 of Coins in reverse, 6 of Cups in reverse. Judgment. Funny, I think Virgo had Judgment in the same placement here. Interesting. Maybe you, Scorpio, maybe there's some forgiveness between you and a Virgo going on where you two are forgiving each other. Potentially. Oh, World. Nice. Knight of Swords in reverse. World upright. And finishing off with Ace of Coins in reverse. So let's take a look and see what all these cards are saying for Scorpio. I'm noticing a lot of people in this reading, by the way. I'm noticing, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3 knights. All 4 knights. Okay. So when all 4 knights show up, knight energy is about balancing energies. Knights are about, potentially there could be a lot of men involved. So not 4 knights, 3 knights and a king. Night energy, it's still a lot of knights. And night energy is about balancing energies. It's about, testing things out, trying to find equilibrium. Usually a knight will go way to this end of something and way to this end of something. So for example, the Knight of Swords is incisive and quick thinking and logical and analytical. He's really precise, but he's also can be really blunt and really inconsiderate of other people's feelings, and just too much in his head and rushing too far too quickly, too forward too quickly. Same thing with Knight of Wands, is that they represent the excesses of fire energy. So it could be that you're confident and bold and willing to go for things, courageous, daring. That's all high side of the Wands energy, but also it could be cocky and foolhardy and overly arrogant and all the low side of too much fire energy. So same thing here. Knight of Coins is on the high side. It's practical, it's cautious, it is sure-footed, very taking one step at a time. But on the other extreme, which is what knights are about, is that it's overly cautious, too worried, too thinking about things. It's all planning and no action. So what I'm seeing with all this knight energy is that there may be a way in which extremes are not serving you this month, because they're all in reverse too. You can see you've got the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Fire, and the Knight of Swords all in reverse. So it's saying, for me, don't go to extremes in any way. Like, don't overthink things. Don't try to find the moderate ground. That's what's going to liberate you. Scorpio this month, especially as it relates to things in your mind, and as it relates to you just acting rashly. So don't, this is a real month for you to think before you act, to, instead of rushing into the burning buildings here, which Knight of Swords will tend to do, take a moment to just pause. And that's what the King of Swords is saying. The King of Swords really, he's got mastery over his thoughts. And so he really thinks things through. He relies on experience. He relies on knowledge, wisdom, understanding. He doesn't just, get an idea and run with it. So I'm really getting the sense that there may be a need to slow down and to think things through instead of going to extremes. You want to aim for the middle path this month, Scorpio. That's really going to help you. I do see that there's potential that at the beginning of the month, you've got an earth sign that you're working with. So this could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And you're trying to make a decision regarding them. And this could also be representing plans. So it could be that you're agonizing over making plans, like what do I need to do regarding family? Like for some of you, this may be whether or not to attend a family reunion or a social gathering. Like, should I go or should I not go? Should I make these plans, these travel reservations or not? You kind of feel stuck in your head potentially. And if Cup shows me that there's a lot of emotional fulfillment available. You could have a really good time either with your partner or with friends or with family or with whatever's going on here. There's a lot of love. Your cup could be really filled, but your mind is kind of out of whack. It feels like you're stuck mentally. And the reason I say that is that Two of Swords is being racked with indecision. And Eight of Swords means being stuck. You could see how both of these are blindfolded. But I do see that since this is in reverse, you may be coming out of some sort of mental prison, especially as it relates to the beginning of the month. If you had plans that you weren't so sure about, and that you were indecisive about, that you couldn't seem to make a decision whether to go left, whether to go right, whether to choose this situation or that situation, this person, this location, that location. I see you as eventually releasing yourself from some kind of mental imprisonment, some sort of way of thinking that is causing you to be stuck. However, I would just encourage you to not release yourself from that mental prison by going too far overboard. This is like, screw it. I'm just going to run off that cliff and I don't really care. Like if you've been stuck in this, like, I don't know energy, this could be a release from that. Knight of Wands, which says, I'll do anything at any cost. I've got courage. I'm just going to break through that barrier. I'm just going to go, jump off that cliff. But be careful. Again, use moderation this month, because sometimes taking action can end up burning you unless you think it through. So, and again, this could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that is egging you on, saying, come on, just do the thing. You really want to embody King of Swords energy, especially towards the middle of the month, towards this new moon in Virgo that's November 9th. Use rationale, use analysis, use your wisdom, your experience. Should I just go for this thing without thinking about it? Maybe not. Should I quit that job? Maybe take time, talk to a mentor or a counselor, or this could be an air sign with a lot of experience. So a Libra, a Gemini, an Aquarius, someone who has experience with whatever it is that you're setting out to do, whatever it is that you are trying to get out of your head about or make a decision about. This King of Swords is really going to be helpful to you. So I'm going to say seek out a air sign mentor or someone who has experience with the situation that you're trying to deal with. Like whether it is trying to get out of your own head, trying to make a decision on something, trying to have clarity about something, about what action to take, or if these are like unruly employees. The King of Swords is probably a manager of some sort, maybe an HR manager or someone who owned their own business, who had employees, who can give you wisdom and insight, especially as work here seems to be difficult. It seems like Eight of Coins is making the effort, whistling while you work, being happy at your workbench. I'm kind of getting the sense that there might be something off at work. Eight of Coins here, and you need to rely on the wisdom of a counselor, a mediator, some third party potentially that can really help you sort out this very extreme night energy. Knights want to go this direction, that direction. They don't know about the middle path. That's what they're learning about. I do see that you have lost some hope in this situation, or innocence. This is innocence, kindness. Two children who are handing each other hearts and flowers. The cups represent heart energy, emotional energy. And this is just like basic human decency and kindness, sentimentality, like thinking about the past, thinking about when simpler times, quite frankly. So I'm kind of getting the sense, Scorpio, that there may be some way in which you're looking to the past and just sort of saying, gosh, I remember when things were easier and simpler. Why do I have to think things through and deal with all this extreme energy? But I do see that whatever difficulties you're having, either mentally or having to do with work or action at the middle of the month, you've got a lot of nice opportunity for renewal and closing out cycles and beginning new cycles towards the end of the month here. So I'm actually seeing that if you can concentrate on filling your cup at the beginning of the month, releasing yourself from, your mind, just focus on your heart and what your heart wants and needs, not so much about all the problems and mental dramas or mental gymnastics. That can be a good focus for you. And also relying on the wisdom, experience of an older person or someone who has gone through or has wise words to say. I mean, you could be struggling at work with someone who used to be a friend. This can often be someone from our past, someone that we felt childlike with. If you can get through that and not act rashly, not go to extremes in any way, Scorpio, I see really great things towards the end of the month. This is really about forgiveness. And judgment has to do with letting the ghosts of the past go, letting the baggage of the past go. And if you have an old friend or an old coworker that you used to work with, that there's been a falling out with, it might be time to just let go and forgive, release something, even if this is a family member or, you've been having a hard time focusing on your work because of challenges that are going on with this family member. This could all be related. It could be an earth sign person in your family. I'm going to suggest second chances, letting go, forgiveness. When you use the power of forgiveness, it's not letting that other person off the hook. It's actually for you, Scorpio. And this is tough. But when you let things go, when you forgive, you basically are lightening yourself. It doesn't condone other people's behavior. It doesn't say what was done to me is okay and I think it's fine. It's just saying that I'm no longer willing to carry this around because I'm ready for new life. I'm ready for spiritual renewal. I'm ready to let the ghosts of the past go, to let new things in. And actually what it does is it liberates you. That's what this World card is about. It will allow you to feel supported and free. It will allow you to feel support from all four corners of the universe. This is the four poles of the celestial sphere. This is you, Scorpio here, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius. Those are the four axes of the entire celestial sphere. So this means feeling supported, feeling free, and closing out a cycle, by the way. Going to a new level. Really, when you do this forgiveness, and maybe it's forgiveness towards an air sign who's been reckless, that could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or who's been extreme to you in some way, someone who have had cutting words. You actually liberate yourself. You can see in these two cards, it's like letting the ghosts of the past go, and then you are free. And you get victory, success. That's what this wreath of laurels is about. And you ascend. You ascend to new heights. You ascend to a new just liberation. And that's where new good things can come in. That's where this new beginning comes in. Ace of Coins. You may not believe it. There's some fear, doubt, or resistance to believing that there's a new beginning, an invitation to a new garden, or I'm actually getting for you like garden party. But this is a new thing being given to you by the divine that is stable and solid. It's reliable. And once you get yourself to this place of liberation, of feeling free, feeling supported, it really is hinging upon all this forgiveness. And once you get yourself to that place, you can let the new thing come in. I really want to just encourage you. These are in the upright, by the way, major arcana, Scorpio. So you are completing some sort of cycle of forgiveness and liberation. And then, even though you may not believe it, there's new good stuff here waiting to come in. It's sort of like it's an opportunity that's knocking on your door. So there's some work to be done this month in terms of your own thinking. How does it relate to partnership or family, relationship even? Do you have old thoughts that you need to release yourself from that are kind of blinding you and limiting you? See if you can rely upon the wise counsel of someone who has experience, a mentor, whether this has to do with work, with relationship, with family. Whatever causes you to be able to not go to extremes is what all these knights in reverse say. Act like the king, have mastery, make decisions based on logic, analysis, reason, all of that wisdom, experience. And if you're having difficulty with someone from your past, or things are not quite going well with work, release old baggage. See if you can employ forgiveness. It's really going to liberate you, and it's really going to allow this new, wonderful, gorgeous beginning to come in. A solid new beginning. So I like how it wraps up for you, Scorpio, but there's some work to be done. Just in terms of what I'm seeing is letting go and making good decisions about moderation instead of extremes. So that is a reading for you for September. I'm going to pull one card from the Vision Quest deck here. What's the overall energy for September? Please give me one card for Scorpio. Father of Earth. So this is the King of Earth. This is, again, heading towards something that is reliable, stable, solid. This is a man who believes in marriage, believes in family, believes in taking good care of things that are valuable. And this is actually where this Ace of Coins, this new idea, leads. So I'm really seeing that the month is guided by solidity and stability, reliability for you, but it may not appear until you go through all of this stuff and, begin this new beginning that leads to riches, stability, solidity, commitment, good things that are acquired through making good decisions. So that's what I'm getting there. He's a very solid, stable, reliable, good decision-making person. And let's see what also the romance cards have to say for Scorpio. Please give me one card for Scorpio for retreat. Okay, it's time to disconnect from the world. So what I'm getting is that there'll be some things that you need to think about in terms of how you view partnership. And it may be time, again, not to take any rash action, but it may be time to just reflect on things. Not to feed any negative thoughts that keep you stuck, but just to retreat and reflect. Maybe to do some forgiveness work and see how it can liberate you. So I'm really seeing these two as going together, this retreat and judgment. Maybe if you forgive people from your past, it can take you to a new beginning, Scorpio. See if you can work with that. This person might be coming in, whether male or female. So that's a reading for you for September. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up or share it with another Scorpio. And as always, you can book a personal reading with me at readingsbygwendolyn.com. And I will look forward to speaking with you again next month. As always, yours in the stars.